So I've been wearing the Sepratech underwear just around the house, not the bigger pair that I'll use for recovery from surgery, but just the regular size, good for me size pair. That's how people talk. I'm a little out of it. I've been nocturnal, so I woke up at like 5 or 6 p.m. because the problem is I go to sleep and I wake up whenever because my work is, at the computer. I can do it whenever as long as the video is done on time. But Khaleesi likes to eat dinner at a dinner time, so she'll wake me up at 5 or 6 p.m. So she did not get the memo. She just looked at me. I don't know if you can see her on camera. Probably not. She'll wake me up and be like, hey, what the fuck? Rightfully so. But yeah, so I'm a little out of it because I didn't get enough sleep. But there's lots of things to talk about. I finished reading top to bottom, and it was very good, very well written, very informative. I'm very glad for the experience. And it's great to know what this surgery was like 5 years ago, or 6 years ago at this point, in the UK. And also done by someone who I think Finn was like, he was in his 40s when he got surgery. I believe he was 44, or that's how old he is now. But for someone older, not old, but like someone older than me getting the surgery, and it still was like a great success. Borat quote. It calms my mind. There's a reason that I'm like an ideal candidate. I'm young. Like I said before, I'm young. I have insurance. I don't smoke. I drink socially. I'm in good shape. And I suffer a level of dysphoria that I just, every time that I do exercises or in order to like visualize myself with a more cis-looking penis, or rather just a bigger penis in general, used for everything penis-related, peeing, sex, all that shit, I'm the perfect candidate for phalloplasty. So people in worse conditions than me have been able to get it with really, really, really good results. So I'm feeling good. I'm feeling really good. And one of the things that I learned from the book, at least at the time that he was writing it, he was talking about how, there's two different, stage 3 for him, stage 2 for me, parts of phalloplasty that will allow for penetrative sex, the rod and the pump. And he was talking about how the pump needs to be replaced, I believe every 10 years. It was a smaller amount of time than the rod, which is every 20 years the rod needs to be replaced. And that really struck me in a way that I didn't think about. Like it's part being trans and part being suicidal for so much of my life, where I did not think about getting older. I couldn't really see myself older. I couldn't see myself as like a 60, 70, 80-year-old. And now I am not suicidal anymore, and I'm very happy with my life. And now I have to think about the future. And that's something that I've realized from a suicidal point of view, where it's like, oh, I don't want to die all the time. Now I have this beautiful life that I would like to experience for as long as possible. But now from the trans part of it, I'm realizing that I don't know what trans looks like at that age. We kill ourselves like too much. So there's not really there's no role models to really look up to. There are some, I can find them, but you gotta look. There's no mainstream 80-year-old trans men. Like, what does that look like? What does that feel like? I get the rod at, let's say before I'm 30 years old, because at the track rate, if things go well and I only have a few, fixer-up surgeries, for fistulas and stuff like that. I'm assuming I might get a few, because you want to assume that there will be complications and then take it from there. And it'd be great if there aren't any, but let's leave some wiggle room. If I will still probably get the rod before I'm 30. That means I get it replaced at 50, which is like fine. Yeah, I can do that. But then the next is 70. Will I? What does that look like? What does surgery look like at 70? Will I be in a fit enough body? Because the older you get, the harder surgery is on the body, How much sex am I going to be having at age 70? Do I want to get the rod replaced? And even so, we'll just assume that, okay, let's get the replacement at 70 also. Then the next one's 90. And that really hit me, thinking about that. How old am I going to get? Testosterone makes your lifespan shorter, and I don't know. But the more I think about it, the more I come to the results that I don't care, I guess, if that makes sense. I don't care how old I get. Because that's something you have to really resign yourself to when you realize that you're trans, is like, I will do whatever to appreciate the life that I have left. I think a lot of cisgender people are so concerned about, like, how can I live the longest? How can I look the hottest the longest? There's creams, there's medicines, there's pills, there's surgeries for cisgender people. And also the culture teaches us, like, you have to look hot all the time. You have to, you want to live as old as possible. And in general, sorry, she's doing that thing. Khaleesi, stop it. Don't, what are you doing? She's tapping. She's touching the blinds. Well, you're doing a good job. I'm talking about deep life shit. Yeah, come here. I'll pet you. We're taught in this culture that, like, we want to live as long as possible, and that is true. So some people might be like, why would you put testosterone in your body if you know you're going to live a shorter amount of time? But the thing is, I was going to kill myself anyway. You know what I mean? Like, I view life as, like, this second chance, where before I had no quality of life. I was so miserable all the time, and nothing mattered to me. I could have stayed in that body and lived until I was 100, and I just would have been sad the whole time. But I probably wouldn't have lived that long, if we're honest. Like, I don't mean to, like, talk about... I have the disclaimer at the beginning where I say I'm going to talk about suicide stuff. But, like, if we're being honest, like, I was just going to kill myself. Like, there's no quality of life. There's no point. If I'm sad all the time, you could live to 100, but, like, what's the point? And now, I don't care how long I live, but in a positive way, where I'm just kind of taking it day by day, and I'm so grateful for every morning when I wake up, And so thinking about time and age like that is not really something I'm concerned about. So I guess I'll just take it day by day. But it was interesting thinking about me at age 90. I don't know what that looks like. I don't know if that's a thing that's going to happen. But, maybe I'll still be fucking. And if not, if I've lived to 90, I don't think I could get the surgery to replace the rod anyway, because I don't think I would be in a good enough health. I don't think my doctors would be like, hey, let's replace your dingus rod. And so I have to think about, like, what that means. And I think that means that I will be able to have sex until I'm 90 years old. And that's interesting. Do they need to take the rod out? Well, that requires surgery. I assume they would just leave it in and be like, just don't fuck, or it's gonna break inside your body. Be careful with your dingus. But if I'm honest, I don't know if I'm gonna live to 90. I work out a lot, and I'm healthy, but I don't know. I don't know enough about the subject. But hopefully, I'm gonna live as long as possible, because I would like that. And then we'll have a better idea of what a 90-year-old trans man looks like. People ask me all the time what I think the meaning of life is, and I've told you before, I think the meaning of life is to leave this world a better place than when you found it. It's just to contribute as much good to the world as you can, even if it's on a small scale, and I'm fortunate enough that I'm seen in the public eye and I'm able to do it in a large-scale way. And I think of my life, living-wise, age-wise, as that as well, where I want to be on this earth as long as possible so that I can help as many people as possible. I don't really think of my life as my own, if that makes sense. I love my life, and it's great, and I'm my own individual human being with thoughts and feelings, but I also represent something larger, and that's what I'm more concerned about, is what I mean to the world. So yeah, if I live till I'm 90, that means that I can help people for 90 years, and that's what I would want. I want to think fast. I want to make redacted show number 2 that I can't talk about. I want to make a movie. I want to help people see that they can be successful because when trans people see me succeeding, they see themselves succeeding, they see possibility, they see representation. And that to me is much more important than an individual life. So that's my thoughts. The book made me think in that way. And that's what this surgery is, you know? It's not a perfect surgery. There's no 100% guarantee that everything's gonna go fucking great, but I am helping humanity by doing it. You know what I mean? Like, every surgery that they do on trans people, it makes it better for the next batch. The Crane Center specifically, you know, they were talking, my surgeon was talking to me about how volume equals less complications. I am willing to give my body to them. I am willing to be like, hey, if this will help future generations of trans people, and if this will help you in your craft and your study, then let's do it, you know? I'm fully aware some things might not go ideally, and I'm willing to do it, you know, to help people. I'm doing it for a selfish reason, because I want a penis, but, you know, I'm also contributing to the future of trans medical science. And that's really fucking cool, to think that I have an impact on the world like that, you know, just by being me and pursuing something that I'm interested in, that I can help people with it. So let's fucking do it. I haven't been feeling much pre-surgery jitters anymore. I hadn't finished the book yet. I think I was like a couple chapters out, and I was starting to feel just a little bit of nervousness of like, wow, I'm so confident now that I can't even remember what I was nervous about. But I was nervous about something, I'm sure. And I did what I do sometimes when you get nervous or anxious. I went out and I took a little walk, and I walked to my mailbox, because that's a certain amount away that it gives you a chance to clear your head. So I threw on some sweatpants and some sandals, and I walked outside, and I was shirtless and just letting the wind wash over you, and it feels so fucking good. It's one of the best feelings on the planet. Just feeling myself. And I got my mail, and something was from my insurance. And usually it's just spam, where they're like, we wanted to remind you about the benefits that you have, which is like, great, I appreciate it. You didn't have to kill a little bit of a tree to tell me this. This could have been an email. This could have been an email. And I got back and opened it, and it was the Crane Center had submitted the hey, we want to do this surgery. Can you approve it, please? Paperwork. They must have done it a couple weeks ago, because I got some mail, and it had 6 pages of all of the stuff that they're gonna do to me, you know, detailed, like this amount of skin graft, this amount of this, phalloplasty, this, urethral lengthening, blah, blah, blah. And at the top of the letter it was like, you've been approved, and here's all the things you've been approved for. And that, I couldn't feel sad after that. It was like a nice little sign from the universe, you know, like, hey, you're good. We're doing this. It's happening. And it is. I think we're almost a month out. My birthday is in a couple days. And I got the pre-surgery packet in my email 2 days ago. I had to watch the same video about informed consent. It was Dr. Crane giving an explanation of like the risks and benefits of phalloplasty. And I watched it once when I got my consultation for the surgery. I think it was before or after I talked to Dr. Santucci. I forget which one. But I've already seen the video, but they make you watch it again just to make sure, like, hey, you know you can say no to this surgery if you want to. Please, like, you know, don't blame us if you... Are you feeling contractually obligated to get this surgery? You don't have to if you don't want to. And this time, something was different, where they had me watch the video, and then they also had you do like I don't know how to describe it. It was like a little test, a little quiz. It reminded me of like when you're studying for the SATs a little bit. And the questions ranged from simple to weird. I'm not quite sure the purpose of the test. I would assume it's just to assume you are of sound mind and that you have an okay brain situation going on. But some of the questions were like math or memorization. And as someone who failed 2 college math classes, I was not a fan, but I had a calculator and I was at least able to take my time with the answers. One of them fucked me up because it was just a memory thing where they were like, memorize these 4 words: apple, pineapple, pen, horse, something like that. And I was like, yeah, okay, I'm on a computer. So I screenshot it. So like, cause like my memory is shit. I don't want to bother with that. So I screenshot it like a smart ass. And then I went to the next thing and I was like, oh, I am making a video on this. I should take pictures of these questions so people know what to expect. But I used the same screenshot software, the screen capture. So of course it got rid of my previous screenshot. And then I got to the question where they were like, hey, what were those 4 words that we wanted you to memorize? And I was like, ah, shit, I didn't even like read it. I was like, I just assumed that I would have the answers. And I probably failed that one. I think I got 2 of the 4. But yeah, that was very weird. I was trying to figure out what the purpose of the test is, and I assume it is, like I said, I think it's just like a brain teaser thing to be like, you're maybe, you know, as sane of a person as possible, maybe. We want to make sure you're properly able to consent to this surgery. Because they also asked what my highest level of education was, and I was like, I went to college. They made me point on a doll where I wanted the surgeon to touch me, and yeah, and I think that was about it. And one of the questions was like, hey, you know, you can say no to this surgery if you don't want to do it. And I was like, yeah. And they were like, okay, what surgery are you getting? And I was like, phalloplasty. And they were like, okay. And then they the quiz was over. I watched the video again. Everything was good. And they wanted me to fill out a list of medications that I'm on, a COVID preparation thing that says like, hey, you got to get blood work done and you have to have a COVID test before surgery. And they gave me information on the bowel prep, and it's really starting to feel real now. Really good news, they're not making me do the bowel prep stuff that the stage 0 hospital had me do. This seems like it'll be better. It is shitting out my bowels for 24 hours, so it won't be the most comfortable, but I think I hopefully it will be more comfortable than the previous, because Jesus Christ. Yeah, the packet's really helpful. The first page has my list of all of my pre-op appointments, the dates and times that they are going to happen at, which is great. The second page is a medications list that I just have to fill out and give to them to make sure nothing interacts with anything. Next is a safe accommodations agreement, which is basically just like, hey, you're on anesthesia, you have someone to pick you up, right? You can't drive home. That would be an insane thing to think. Yeah, I'm waking up from anesthesia, fully drugged out of my mind, crawling into my rental car and just rolling around Austin with a suprapubic catheter in. I'll have to ask them what their pee policy is. How much pee can I get in this rental car before y'all charge me more? You have to let me get a certain amount of pee in the car or it is transphobic. You don't know what I went through. You don't know what I went through to spill all this piss in this car. Next is a COVID-19 risk-informed consent, which is basically like, hey, if you have COVID-19 and you get this surgery, you're at a higher risk for stuff. So like, keep yourself safe. Next is medications to avoid prior to surgery, which is like, you know, aspirin and fish oil and all that shit. Next is phalloplasty, what to expect, and aftercare. And it teaches me like, you know, what to expect when you're expecting a penis. Next is a shopping list of things that you'll need, like, you know, non-stick dressing, medical cloth or paper tape, gauze, rolls. And they also say we offer a phalloplasty aftercare kit through the office with all the required supplies to last 4 weeks. The cost of the kit is $275. And with everything they're giving me, I think that's worth it, so I'm gonna just do that. Because I'm also gonna be traveling to Austin, I don't need to like pack everything. I wanna have the smallest amount of luggage possible, because I'm gonna be showing up to the hospital and being like, give me my penis, here's my bag. And I wanna make sure it's not like a ridiculous amount of shit. Then there's a preoperative lab request form, because they want me to get, I guess, blood work done. And lastly, we have the bowel prep sheet. Sheet. It sounds like shit. I don't know if the joke came through. I'm funny, damn it. Now we ran through all the stuff, so I'm gonna go over a few things going backwards. For the medications list, they say we have to let them know if we're on 4 different things. Anticoagulants, aspirin for a heart or clotting condition, corticosteroids, or medications for high blood pressure or poor circulation. Now, I'm on testosterone and midodrine. which is to raise my blood pressure, not lower it. So I think I'm good. The only thing I'm concerned about is that I do put a cream on the place that I put my shots every week for my T-shot to calm down the skin. I take antihistamine, like an allergy pill, and I also take a glob of that. I put it on here, I let it rest, and then for like half an hour, I clean it off, I do my shot. Now it's a small amount of cream and I only do it once a week, but I did search it just to double check because I know it is a steroid cream, and it is technically a corticosteroid. So I put it down and I let them know, hey, if you need me to like stop doing it before surgery, I can. It's just gonna give me an allergic reaction to my testosterone. So like, I'll do it. It'll just feel bad because it does take a couple weeks for the swelling to go down if I don't do that to my shot. But I mean, it's for surgery, so like, I let them know, hey, I'll stop it if you want me to, but if it's not a big deal, then that's also good. I would love to not be itching my fucking stomach in a lot of pain while I am also in pain all over my body. But then again, I'm already gonna be on the painkiller, so maybe I just won't even notice well, I say that now, but I do have to do my shots once a week, so it depends when they want me to stop using the cream. We'll see how that shakes out. Now, when I had to sign the COVID-19 risk-informed consent form, it made me realize the reality of the situation, which is that I'm going to get my COVID test, and then they say like, don't associate with people outside your family circle or the people that you're around every day. Don't go venturing out. Reading the form made me realize like, if I get COVID, I can't get my surgery. If I get a positive result from that test, like, it will fuck things up massively. I have to have this surgery at the end of November. If not, my insurance restarts with the new year. We can't have any fuck-ups. I need to have this surgery at the end of November. Now, what could happen is that I get a negative result on my COVID test, and then 72 hours later, I have my surgery. But if I got COVID in between the times of the negative test and my surgery, it could fuck up my life. I could get really sick. I could die. So as badly as I want to spend Thanksgiving with friends, I'm not going to. I was gonna go to Nick's for Thanksgiving, Lanny Pator. He's one of my friends that I work with at TFS here, and he invited me to Thanksgiving, and I was going to go, and I've realized I can't risk anything. And I can't see my brother while he's in town. We haven't seen each other in 14 years, but I texted him today and was like, hey, I can't see you because like I don't want to risk anything, and I'm not allowed to like hang out with people that I'm not usually in contact with. And he understood, and it sucks, but I will see him eventually when it's safer. And I have a penis. Which also, once I got the gears in my mind turning about this, I was like, the only real hurdle is the bus thing. I need to cut down on my bus trips. Because the plan was, when I was gonna be hanging out with people for Thanksgiving, I was going to take a bus from here to Austin for my pre-op, and then a day later take a bus back here, stay here for Thanksgiving, then go back to Austin a couple days later. But with the bowel prep thing, I'm gonna need 24 hours to like shit my brains out before surgery anyway, so I'd have to come a day earlier than I thought. It's a whole thing. So I've cut down, and I was like, okay, I'm going to just stay in Austin. I've decided that I'm going to go there for my pre-op and just stay there for 5 days until my surgery. And that's the situation. I'm gonna isolate, I'm gonna spend Thanksgiving alone. Maybe I'll go to Denny's, get a Grand Slam, and try not to think about horrible genocide and smallpox. And you know what? I will already not have to associate with my stepfather, so this is going to be the best Thanksgiving I've ever had. And I was thinking it would be amazing if I could get someone to drive me to Austin so I don't have to worry about even that one bus trip, because like it's a little anxious being on a bus full of Texans. Like, there are some from very different walks of life that might be very okay with infecting someone with a deadly disease. And I was like, it'd be so nice if someone could take me to Austin, but it's right before Thanksgiving, and people are already out of town and stuff, and I already have to find someone to bring me back from Austin in December once I recover for 3 weeks and get my suprapubic catheter out. Suprapubic tube. Suprapubic tube. As a voice actor, you're used to just saying things until you get it. The ABC take on that is going to be Ugh, glad I don't have to say that for a line. But I was talking about this on Twitter, and two friends, separate of each other, they don't know each other, both reached out to me, and they both live in Austin, and one of them was like, hey, I'd be willing to drive you from Dallas to Austin if you'd like, I totally don't mind. And the other one was like, hey, I totally don't mind driving you from Austin back to Dallas, if you would like that. So sometimes you stick out feelers and you get lucky. I'm so fucking fortunate that people like me and want to help me. So I don't have to worry about the bus at all. And I'm being as safe as possible, and this is the best outcome. And I feel better. I feel even better. I felt good, and now I feel even better. Now, something from the video of Dr. Crane talking made me realize that I think they are going to take a donor site from another part of my body, probably my thigh, in order to replace the skin that is going to be taken from my arm for the graft. And I didn't think that was going to happen, but something that he said made me realize, oh, maybe that's the situation, which I'm fine with, but it's just something a month out from surgery that I'm like, where's it coming from? Where's it going? What's the heal time on my thigh? Is that gonna be bad? I don't think so. Because I've seen videos of dudes who've gotten phalloplasty who have gotten, donor sites from the thigh to go on the arm, and they barely talk about the thigh injury at all. They're like, it's not even a thing. They're more concerned about the arm stuff. So I don't think it's gonna affect my walking ability. I don't think it's gonna really fuck up anything, just like, while it's healing, of course, in the beginning stages, but yeah, just a little unexpected thing. And you know what, I'm very grateful that it'll be on the thigh or something, because Finn, in his book, he talks about how they had to take skin from his ass cheeks, and that was a huge fucking pain, because like there were staples in his ass, and like getting in and out of the bed was extremely painful because of that. So yeah, take all the thigh skin you want, as long as you don't have to cut open my ass. This is one of my moneymakers, all right? I've heard only amazing things about my ass. I can't see it, but I believe them. I apparently have a really good butt. And also watching the video of Dr. Crane talking about phalloplasty a second time actually really helped. Because the first time, I guess, like, you retain as much information as you can, but I kind of forgot a bunch of it. Or didn't realize what it meant in context, because now I'm a different version of Jesse who has done a shit ton more research on phalloplasty. I did a lot before I agreed to the surgery, but now prepping for it is different. You learn even more. So now some of the statistics make a lot more sense to me. One of the worst things that can happen is that, like, you lose the phallus completely. And less than 0.25% of patients experience that. Less than 0.25%. That's way better than even I thought that it was. Like, that really helped put my mind at ease. I took a breath and was like, whoa, okay, that's so low. You have this image, at least I did, I had this image of phalloplasty years ago that also Finn talks about in his book, where transphobes have tried to make this surgery seem like really, really scary, and like it doesn't succeed at all and stuff, and you get this like image of like Frankenstein penises, and like, this is like the worst thing in your arm, you're not gonna be able to feel it forever, but the reality of the situation is like dudes get this surgery and then they're just really happy, and they leave the internet because they can just exist as, for all intents and purposes, cis men. A few years down the line, my body is going to be very indistinguishable from a cisgender man, and there's so many shitty people online and on the internet that for someone who isn't like me, who, like, my career is based on the internet and stuff, and people knew me pre-transition, so I don't feel any uncomfortability existing in this space as a trans person. But for someone who isn't known on the internet, it makes sense that they would leave once they achieve all of the body transition physical stuff that they want, because it's like, oh, I could just leave and be happy, and then I will, and they do. I have more to say, but my camera died. People only seem to talk about these surgeries when they've had really, really bad results or really, really good results. The in-betweens don't really speak up, and that's something you have to consider with this, and something that I had never thought about before. I had also assumed that glandsplasty, where they make the little helmet of the penis, I thought that was going to take place during stage 1. And then I read Finn's book, and he said that his took place in stage 2. So he had this period of time where his dick didn't have the head to it, and it was more of just like a
he described it as like a sausage. And it's one of those things where you just have to like be like, okay, it's going to look different in the future. I just have to deal with it for a bit where it looks like this, and you bond with it, and it's you know, very lovely and rewarding and stuff. And then when it finally gets its little helmet, it feels great. But I think just because his needed 3 stages, that mine is going to be different because mine only requires 2 stages. So from the video, I think it seems like I'm going to be getting glandsplasty right away, like at this first stage, which is great. But that's something I need to confirm with the doctors. But it does seem like, you know, when with the differences, because mine is 2 stages and his required 3, that you know, with the advancements in technology and stuff, that I get the full dick right away. And on the insurance list of things that my insurance had approved, one of them was scrotoplasty. So I think I'm getting balls, but not balls. I'm getting the scrotum. I'm getting a sack, I think, with no balls yet. So they'll make the sack and then let it heal and stuff, and then they put the balls in with stage 2. But I have to confirm that. And something else I need to ask about is that it wasn't a concern with stage 0, but I'm realizing, oh fuck, my T-shots are on Tuesdays, technically like 12 a.m. on Tuesdays. Like Tuesdays are my shot days. My surgery for stage 1 is on a Monday. So I need both hands to do my T-shot. I need to grip the skin on my tummy with my left hand and then shoot the testosterone in with my right hand. So I need to ask them, hey, can someone help me do my T-shot? And I assume this is not going to be the first time they've gotten that question. Like, when you have trans dudes getting this surgery, when all your clientele for phalloplasty are trans men on testosterone, I'm sure someone has asked, like, hey, can someone do my T-shot for me? But that's something I didn't consider because with stage 0, my surgery was on a Wednesday, so I was able to do my T-shot on the Tuesday. Or rather, oh God, I forget whether my surgery was on a Tuesday or a Wednesday. Either way, I was able to do my shot fine on my own. But yeah, that's something I have to ask them about. Right now, we are shooting a commercial for Raycon, and that's been fun because I've gotten to do stunt work for the first time. And this is the first live action filming project that I've done post-transition. And everything just feels so much easier. I can't describe what it's like to learn how to act with training weights on, and then you take off the weights and everything is just infinitely easier. I fucking love acting, and now I get to just act and not worry about my corporeal form and being like, no one perceive me, no one look at me. I'm having a fucking blast. And it's great because, like, this is the last time my arm's gonna look like this, and it's the last time for a bit that I might be able to do intense stunt work like I'm doing. And it's not like intense, but it is more intense than anything I've done. It's fun. Punches and sword fights and shit. Oh, my birthday's in a couple days.
Camera's back. So I wanted to show you the difference between the rodeos and the Sepratech underwear. So the Sepratech are what I'm wearing right now. They're the blue ones in the sample that I'm going to show you footage of, where it will separate my penis from my ball sack. And when you can see that when I'm just standing up, there's like a nice little flap there, and it just feels nice to just like visually have something like that. Because I talked about the differences in Packers and stuff, and how Packers never really felt good to me. I didn't like the feeling of something being in my underwear touching against my skin. It was too much tactile like sensation, and it just kind of like distracted me, and I couldn't think of anything else. It was overstimulating for me. So it's nice to have just like a little pouch here where even me pre-stage 1, like even without my phallus, it looks nice, and it feels like very gender affirming to like look in the mirror and just like see a thing there. And I had tried these rodeo ones with like this cup inside, so like it looks like this, all installed is the word I was going to use, but it's in there. It's like this foam cup thing, so you pull it out and it looks like this. And that's been very nice. We're shooting the Raycon commercial, and sorry, I have to take a second to kiss the cat. Oh, very good. Oh, very good. So we're shooting the Raycon commercial, and I'd like to use it in my acting reel. So I want to look as accurate to my future self as possible. So I already have this from pre-stage 1. I'm not going to be have any use for this afterwards, But I figured, ooh, you know what? Sidebar. In the list of things that I should get in preparation for surgery, one of the things they suggested was a soft cup of some kind because my dick is going to be big and swollen and we need to have as much space for it to be as possible. And they said if you couldn't find an athletic cup that was big enough, you could also use the inside of a bra or something. And I was like, I'm not gonna... I looked online, I looked on Amazon, all of them just looked too hard or not big enough because my dick's gonna be fucking big and it's not... They're not accounting for the size of it being that way all the time. They're thinking about cisgender penises. So I was like, fuck it, I'm not gonna find one, whatever. But I'm realizing now I should bring this with me just in case this will help in some way. But anyway, yeah, for the commercial, I'm wearing these underwear because, you know, I'm going to have a bulge there in the future, and acting wise, I want people to know that. But yeah, if you're someone like me who doesn't like things touching against your body, if you're on the spectrum or something like that, then these might be a good alternative to packing with a traditional Mr. Limpy. So with the pre-op packet that they sent me, I was able to update my phalloplasty checklist. I have to complete lab work 14 to 30 days before my surgery, so between October 30th and November 15th. I have to complete a COVID test 48 to 72 hours before surgery. One of those days is Thanksgiving, so I assume that I'll be doing it on the 26th. Yeah, that would give us enough time, because my surgery is the 29th. Okay, we should be good. I should be able to do that. But also I assume hospitals are open on Thanksgiving. I assume they don't just push the sick people out the door and are like, I have to go eat some turkey. And I have to arrive at the hospital on my surgery date no later than 5:30 in the morning. My surgery should be around 7 or 8, I believe. Now the flyer that they sent me from the hospital for the COVID test was like, hey, don't worry, you just get in your car, you come up to the hospital, sit there, and we'll come out and administer the test for you. So I'm gonna call them and say, hey, I'm not gonna have a car. Can I come in, please? Or just sit on the sidewalk? I don't know what's gonna happen. But it was very funny that like they were telling me like it's so easy, like don't worry about it, and I don't have the major factor that they are counting on. Now reading their bowel prep stuff, they basically have 4 things on this list. 4 tabs of Dulcolox laxative. That's what the new thing is rather than the poop juice. A bottle of Miralax, a sports drink, and fleet enemas, 2 of them. But what fascinated me was that next to the sports drink, 64 ounces, they say Gatorade, Powerade, or similar, not red or purple. And they also repeat down in the rest of the instructions, don't do anything red or purple. Nothing red or purple. And that's confusing to me, but then I guess maybe it stains the pee in some way that I'm not aware of. Maybe just in case they don't want your pee to be like, would it make the pee red or purple? If it was, would it look like blood? I don't know. That's the one thing that I read in this list where I was just a little, like it's just funny that there was no context for that and they say it and then they will not explain further. No red or purple, just trust me. They're bad flavors. I don't like them. You shouldn't drink them either. And the other thing that kind of made me laugh while reading this is they are very generous with their assumption about my sleep schedule. The first instruction on 1-day pre-op is, at 7 a.m., begin a clear liquid diet only. And then they have instructions for 12 p.m., 1:30 p.m., 5 p.m., and throughout the day. And then it ends by 10 p.m., and then says stop all intake at midnight. And it's very funny working online and being a content creator because I stay up and I do my work. I'm nocturnal most of the days, you know, I go to sleep at like 7 or 8 a.m. and then I wake up at 4 or 5 p.m. Which is hilarious because according to their instructions, I wake up at 5 p.m. and use a fleet enema immediately. Just wake up, don't have any food, don't have coffee, just shoot saline right up your asshole. It would wake me up, in their defense. But yeah, so according to this, I don't take the poop juice, I swallow tablets and I dissolve Miralax in sports drinks. And I do a fleet enema. I don't want to jinx myself, but this seems way better. It seems way better than what I had to go through with the fucking stage 0 shit. I'm still gonna be shitting out all my bowels, but like, at least I won't have to taste the cherry again. But you know what? Yeah, let me walk you through what my day is going to be like, because I think on the day of, I'm gonna be too distracted and or miserable to like accurately give you an idea of what's happening. At 7 a.m., begin a clear liquid diet only, anything you can see through. Example, clear broth, water, coffee, tea, no milk or creamer, lemonade, apple juice, white grape juice, sports drinks, popsicles, or Jell-O. Nothing red or purple. Nothing red or purple, and we will not explain. At 12 p.m., take 4 Dulcolax laxatives. Try to say that 5 times fast. Dulcolax laxatives tablets. Dulcolax laxative tablets. Take the tablets. Take 4 tablets. Again, at 12 p.m., mix the 238-gram bottle of Miralax in 64 ounces of sports drink. Shake until Miralax is dissolved. As someone who used to have really, really bad constipation issues pre-stage 0, I have tasted Miralax a lot in my life. And this is way more, I'm fine with this. Because like with Miralax, I put way more liquid in with the Miralax than I have to so that it tastes better. With the poop juice from before, it is cherry. It is the most cherry thing you will ever put near your fucking lips. It is so, it will destroy your mouth. I had cuts in my mouth that I didn't even realize I had, and it just made it so, I'm having flashbacks, you know? I'm like, oof, that shit's gonna affect me the rest of my life. But Miralax, I'm fine with that. This is fine. Drink 8 ounces every 10 to 15 minutes until the solution is gone. You should be finished drinking the Miralax by 1:30 p.m. Continue to drink clear liquids for the rest of the day/evening. It is important to stay hydrated. It really is. You're gonna be shitting so much, bud. At 5 p.m., wake up and use the Fleet Enema. No, it just says at 5 p.m. use the Fleet Enema as directed on the package. If your bowel movements are not clear by 10 p.m., repeat the Fleet Enema. Okay, so that's why you need 2. And then finally, stop all intake at midnight. No exceptions. So that is no water, no food. So intake, anything by mouth. That's the weird phrasing that they said on the stage 0 prep, right? They were like, do not take anything by mouth after midnight. So if you can shove a popsicle up your ass and absorb it through there, if you want to just cram some Jell-O in your butthole, it doesn't say anything about that. But please don't do that. Please don't put Jell-O in your butthole. Isn't it funny that I have to say that? Isn't that funny that I'm a comedian and you can't just assume that that's a joke. Don't put Jell-O in your asshole. Please don't put Jell-O in your asshole. I watched a YouTube video and Jesse Nowak told me to shove frozen popsicles in my butt. I'm excited. I now have rides in cars to Austin and back. And I have a clear list. It's been really touching. People have been getting me stuff off of my Amazon wish list that I put together of things in preparation for surgery. And thank God I put that together because I'm so fucking bad at asking for help. I'm so bad at like asking for money specifically. So I'm very fortunate that my friends contacted me and were like, hey, I'll give you a ride. And also that I asked like, hey, my birthday is next week, but in lieu of traditional gifts, if you were gonna get me something, you could give me something for surgery instead. You could give me this therapy clay or these zinc tablets. And I always assume there's a large majority of my audience that is queer and or trans, but I've actually been getting a lot of like very nice messages from cis straight men getting me stuff off of my wish list, specifically with messages that are like, hey, I'm always trying to improve as an ally, or hey, I want to like be the best ally I can be, so thank you for being so open and honest about your journey because it's been extremely helpful. And that like really means a lot to me, and it's like very sweet and cool. It gives me hope for the world, you know, because one of the biggest factors that leads to the exhaustion of trans people is just that we are always the ones that have to stand up for each other. Like we're the ones who need to show up, otherwise no one else will. And I've been very blessed with so many cisgender friends of mine that like do their own research and ask questions in appropriate ways and like don't put up with bullshit without me having to say anything. And that can skew my worldview a little bit sometimes, where I'm spoiled by that, you know, that I have such proactive, genuinely really good people in my circle. A lot of trans people don't. And it gives me hope for the world, you know, that people are supporting me in these ways that, like, you know, you don't see them all the time. I don't see them all the time, but but they're showing up for me now, and that's really nice. But yeah, it's really glad that I put that wish list together, because with the decision to stay in Austin the 5 days, I just had to book the hotel, and it's technically 6 days, even though, because hotels, you know how they work, where it's like I'm staying there for 5, but it's like technically 6, whatever the fuck. Very glad that I asked for help with things, because now I am blowing $600, $700 more dollars than I thought I was on hotels. But you know what? It's necessary. I spent 20 minutes looking at other hotels just to see if there were cheaper ones, but you get what you pay for. And anything cheaper than the one that I was going to stay at would be like a Roach Motel, and it would be so fucking shitty if I got bed bugs or lice or something before my surgery, and then that's the reason I couldn't get it. So I just bought the bullet. I bought the bullet, and then I bit it, and I reserved the hotels like 20 minutes ago. So very good move that I asked, like, hey, I have to get things off my list for pre-surgery and post-surgery stuff. If you want to help with that, you can do that. Because also, like we said on here, they have that list of stuff that they're like, hey, you can get this yourself, or we have a package at the Crane Center that you can buy for like $275. I'm just gonna buy it. Like, I looked up this stuff, it's pretty standard, and I could spend time and money getting it on Amazon, but like I said before, I'm already gonna have a suitcase of I don't know how much shit. I don't want to reduce my bags as much as possible. So if I could just go there and get the thing, that'd be great. But yeah, it's a good day. It's a good life. I'm very excited. I'm glad I got rid of the anxiety. Maybe more will come. Who knows? That's why, like, this is the fun of live, pre-recorded entertainment. That's a weird way of saying it. It's live for me right now. I'm living through it, and now then I come back and I give you the results. But that's the joy of it, is that I don't know. I don't know how things are going to go. I don't know what the future holds. I don't know if I'm going to get like really anxious a week from now and then it'll last until surgery. I don't know if I will be perfectly fine and comfortable all the way up until surgery and everything is good. But either way, I am calm and happy for now. And yeah, I'm feeling good. One last note before we leave for today's vlog. Finn, the author of Top to Bottom, he talks in the book about how he also gets, sad after surgery. And that's also like, it's a normal thing to get post-surgery, like depression and stuff like that. And it's something that he factored in with all of his surgeries. He was like, okay, this is a thing that happens to me, so I am prepared for it now. And as someone that happens to, that's great. You've seen in these vlogs where I talk about like feeling shitty that I feel depressed after surgery because I'm so lucky to have gotten this surgery. But it's a normal response to trauma. Your body's going through trauma. It's a normal response to being tired and sitting in bed, and I won't be able to do the things that I love, like video editing and working out and stuff. Like, my arm's going to be in recovery, and it's going to be a process. So it was really validating to see that someone else, literally from such a similar life experience as me, both of us being trans men, also going through the same thing. So that's good. And I just, you might be going through these surgeries in the future, or a friend of yours, and I just want you to know that it's totally normal to like feel sad afterwards. Cause like, I was so happy for a long while afterwards. After stage 0 specifically, I was so fucking happy. Like I said before, right after surgery, they were rolling me around and I couldn't stop smiling, and everyone kept commenting on it. But a couple weeks out, you might feel a little sad. And me especially, I'm going to have a suprapubic catheter in, and I think that's going to cause some depression for me. Feeling like you constantly have to pee is a bad feeling. I don't like it. And it is a possibility. When you have that thing in you, I think more than 5 days or something like that. There's a number of days where, like, if you have that thing in you, it's normal that bacteria is going to grow. So that's why they put you on antibiotics, but they can't put you on antibiotics the whole time, because then your body will just grow immune to it, So they have to be selective about it. So that's probably going to cause some depression. And I think as long as we are living in the moment, We are logically acknowledging, yes, my body's doing a thing and it sucks, but think about the long run. Like this, you are suffering in the short term so you can be comfortable for the rest of your life. Eventually, the punches stop. You know? This is a stupid, weird comparison. I was drinking a protein shake today, and it was made out of like these chunks that like were not dissolving properly. I didn't have enough of a liquid to powder ratio, and it wasn't dissolving. And there were these like wet chunks that I had to keep swallowing. And I could have just like, what's the word? Filtered it, you know, to poured it in and like gotten the chunks out. Instead, I just gulped the whole fucking, I just kept gulping, and I didn't know when it was gonna end. And I was like, the chunks gotta stop eventually. Eventually, they will stop. And I think that's a good analogy for anything in life. Eventually, if I could do this all day, Captain America style, you know, like I have an infinite amount of fight in me. So as long as they're fighting me, I can put up with it. The chunks gotta stop eventually. The future is bright. And I think we're just gonna focus on that. One day at a time, but also not that. I don't know. Sometimes I make sense. Sometimes I don't.
Birthmas! This is my birthday. It's my birthday. Chat is horny. Chat is horny. It's birthday time. I'm 29. Wow. Whenever it's your birthday, you always think like, at least I do. I'm always like, does it feel different? And it does, in a good way. Damn, Jesse's so youthful. You know, for my original show, I have to play a teenager. I'm playing a high schooler, and I am excited about the future and everything, and I don't need to like play it right away. I don't need to shoot the pilot right away. I'm just nervous about like, I'm getting older. When am I gonna not be able to play a teenager anymore? But the other day I took a lift, and the guy was having a conversation with me, and then realized that I was not 15 years old during the course of the conversation, because he was asking me about school and stuff, and I was like, oh no, I graduated already. And we were talking, and I realized, oh, he thinks that I'm in high school. So I was like, you know what? I think I'm good. I think I'm good to play a teenager for a bit longer. Hello, thank you for the birthday wishes. I'm tired because we filmed the rest of the scenes of The Thing today. I got to put fake blood in my mouth and spit it out for the first time. It was very cool. We did some combat. I fucked up my knee because we were doing stunt work, but I'm honestly very excited to fuck up my knee a little. It's gonna be fine. I iced it and it'll be good by like tomorrow or the next day. In the past, I didn't take risks. You know what? We're doing risks. I had a great birthday. Thank you for the wishes, and I love you all. Mm-hmm. You're so cute. You love rubbing on my head? I'm not going to be able to hold you forever. After I get surgery on my arm. I don't know when I'll get to hold you next. But I'm going to kiss your little head while I can. Yeah. Oh, you're rubbing on everything, huh? Yeah, I love you too. She's so fucking weird. Yeah. Well, oh. Yeah. Daddy loves you. I don't know if you can hear how loud she's purring, but she'll just hang out here all day if I let her. I have to do things, okay? I gotta put you down. Yeah. Yeah, I know. Okay.
Woo! Jesse, what's up with these?
I don't know.
Huh. Hey, Kaiser, what's up with the earbuds?
Oh, what those? Apparently, Raycon sent us some of their everyday earbuds to do an ad.
So, whose are they?
I don't care. Whichever he wants to do the ad, I guess.
With 8 hours of playtime and 32 hours of battery life, a built-in microphone so you can take your calls, Raycon is a great choice for your day-to-day life. Dude, that's not mine. Dude, mine! You freaking cut me!
Raycons make me want to come from my ears!
What?
The new everyday earbuds have a new and improved design. They look like little cherries. You can pop them in your mouth, but don't put them in your mouth, Jesse. We learned that from last time. Raycons also come with a 45-day happiness guarantee, so in case anything goes wrong.
Did you tell them about the adjustable ear nipples?
Yeah?
Damn it! Had enough, Jesse?
Uh-huh.
All right then. Gonna hand over the earbuds and let me do the ad now, yeah?
How's Grandma?
Fun. Did you hit your head, or are you actually?
I'm gonna have to call you back, Mom. Sorry, I didn't hear anything you just said.
Those things stay in there that entire time?
Oh yeah, the little ear nipples are great. Like you can work out in these. They're
That's crazy.
yeah. You're not getting them.
God damn you!
Oh, hey guys.
Hi.
What are those?
Oh, Raycon sent us a second pair. Oh, but I can keep these ones. I've listened to my favorite podcast all day long. Did you know that the Earth is flat and these sound just as good as other premium earbuds, but start at half the price? It's crazy. Anyway, stop sending around and work on the ad. Oh, my ears are humming right now.
Go to buyraycon.com/team4star and get your pair for up to 20% off.
I've just had my last electrolysis session with Dan before my surgery, and I'm emotional. My arm looks real good. We're fucking great. He fucking decimated the hairs where the urethra's gonna go. Yeah, I don't know. I did not expect to be this emotional. Like, this is as emotional as I get nowadays. I don't cry, but I feel emotional is the word. Sad isn't the word. I don't know. You feel a certain way. Surgery is so fucking close. It's so close. This is insane. But yeah, we finished, and you're like, what do you do on the last session? How do we say goodbye? This has been several months. And he was like, bro hug, and I was like, hell yeah, dude, get in here. And we hugged. And he said, it's great working with you. Surgery's gonna go great. And I was like, yeah, hell yeah. And I don't know. I'm emotional. I'm happy. Excited. Very excited. I will be inviting Dan to my first red carpet premiere of some kind. You know, he was like, I would love to be at your first big premiere. And I was like, yep, for sure. And I will absolutely be getting him a ticket to whatever the hell I'm involved in the future. Yeah, Dan fucking rules. Once again, thank you so much to my wonderful patrons on Patreon. My videos are completely funded by Patreon patrons. How many times can I say patron? One more. Patrons. I'd like to thank my silver sponsors, Alex Buhner, Andrew Dunn, Kieran Benson, Cyberlink420, Dan Millington, Dan McRae, Gadarine, Giselle Nera, Jean-Baptiste Rousey, Marie Byrne, Neve Kinor, Pocket Jawa, and Tasmarty. I'd also like to thank my gold sponsors, Sam Bartram and Doran McEwen. I would, last but not leastly, oh, that's a word. Leastly is a word. Diamond sponsors, thank you so much, Epam, Getty Skog, Rosie Kinks, and Tsukiyomi. Thank you so much to all of my wonderful patrons. If you want to hop on all over the Patreon,
There's stuff over there. Fuck, I don't know. Thank you. I really appreciate the help. I literally would not be able to do these videos without you, so thank you for your support, and we'll see you next time.